Cyril, thank you for joining us today. You just launched a new livery of the car. After what happened last year, everything, that must be a big moment for you when you see the new car, the finished car in the garage already. What feelings do you have?
Well, it's a succession of big moments, because that's a big moment. The 3rd of February was a big moment. The first lap in Barcelona during the winter test was another big moment. Signature last year was a big moment. So yeah, it's a lot of things. So it's step by step, and there will be other big moments. There will be also tough moments. We know that, because we know that the sport that we are entering into is a tough sport. That competition is huge. The level, the bar has been raised dramatically since last time we were a full team, and we know that. So we are also humble about our ambitions. But yeah, I think it's good, and so far I like the result. I like how we look to people.
What would be the big next moment in your opinion?
I think Sunday will be a big moment. To be really honest, it's one thing going signing contracts, showing liveries, but it's a race start is another story. So Sunday will be a big moment for all of us. I'm sure that I will have my hair, like that. So that will be a big one, and then we have to brace ourselves for what might be a tough early part of the season. But not to forget that we have a great ambition and all the ingredients to perform well in that business, in the sport.
You're always very careful when you talk about the targets of this season, but you must have something in mind.
I have something in mind, but I want to check against reality. And so far, it's very difficult to know what's the pecking order. I think the winter test, no one really knows where a number of teams are at the front, but also at the back, except maybe for Mercedes, obviously. So it's difficult to position ourselves. What I know is that we are not lost. I think we will be in the crowd, with the people, with the pack at some point. Maybe at the rear of the pack, and we will be making our way through the pack in the course of the season, because we've got good stuff in the pipeline. I will give you our ambition after the weekend. I have one in my head, but so far I keep it out just for myself until I see the reality.
You said you have something in the pipeline. Considering that the regulations are changing for next year, how difficult is it for you, because you have a new team and then probably you have to go for the next year's car? How difficult is all that?
Well, it can be extremely easy. We can make the decision to stick with the cars that we have and go for it for the season, and keep our head down, navigate through the season, and focus all the resources on 2017. That's an obvious one to make. You don't need to be a genius to see that it has some merit. Frankly, we have to think a bit more carefully, and that's typically the sort of things, the sort of decision that we will make, the management team will make after this weekend, when we know exactly where we are. We may actually push a bit more than that, the development of this year car, for a number of reasons. But before making that decision, we need to know where the car is exactly.
Of course, after the testing days, it's quite difficult to say where everyone stands. But in terms of the power unit, you see a big progress compared to last year. Is it right that the progress is quite big?
Yeah, I think the progress is the biggest since we have introduced the new regulation. For sure, that's the first time that we make a gap that will be visible. I've sensed that this was the target at the end of last year, and we are delivering that target a couple of months later. But what is important is that we are finally delivering. I think that what upset Red Bull is that we promised that target in the course of the season. It did not happen. So in fairness to them, they were a bit frustrated by the situation. For the first time, I think that the frustration level is going down a bit, and that's really due to the fact that the engine power is going up a bit. So you can measure what we are doing. So it's quite obvious from what they're saying that we are making a step, and that there is more to come in the season if we want to.
One probably a bit stupid question, but how can the step be so big this year, the beginning of this year, when we saw the last spec engine in, I think it was Sao Paulo, you introduced, was not that what you expected, and I think the last year's spec in Sao Paulo was something you built on for this season.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the step in Sao Paulo was actually a development direction that we needed to take, that confirmed to ourselves. So actually what we were expecting from Sao Paulo was not necessarily pure power. We would have loved that. But we were not expecting that really. Frankly, what we were expecting is a number of confirmation. And to tell you the truth, the bit that we tested in Sao Paulo is actually on the engine that we will be racing this weekend. To give you an evidence that what we did in Sao Paulo was important in order to get where we are today and for the future also.
How confident are you that Dr. Marco is not hitting at Renault this year?
Well, first, you should remember that it's a Tiger year, and so he should not forget exactly the make of the engine. And no, but more seriously, I mean, I'm not confident. I'm confident about what we're doing, about how serious we are in doing the stuff that we are doing in VRE, but also in Enstone. And this is what giving me confidence that the relationship with Red Bull might be very different this year. We will see.
If Red Bull is winning, who is winning, Tag Heuer or Renault?
It will be Tag Heuer. But in my heart, in forward people's heart, in Viry-Châtillon, it will be Renault.
But you hope that the Works team is winning?
Yes, it's not going to happen this year. So frankly, what I hope is for Red Bull to win. I continue to be emotionally attached. I've been working with those guys since 8 years. I continue to work. They are a customer, irrespective of the name, and we want to have all our customers happy, from the road car customer who buy a Capture or a Twingo, to our Formula One customers like Red Bull. We want everyone to be proud to be owning and operating a Renault.
You're talking about the customer, but customer in this case, especially with Red Bull, means they get exactly the same specification, exactly the same parts as the Works team.
Absolutely, which goes both ways actually. So we are developing the engine for the Works team, for that car, but Red Bull has got the guarantee that they have exactly the same engine as the Works team. That's our commitment to them. I think this is what they value the most, given the importance of engine performance into the overall performance of the package. I believe that's something also that they were not receiving from other engine manufacturers, either currently or in the past. So it's still a very valid point in today's Formula One.
Okay, so thank you very much, and good luck for the season opener.
Thank you.